Hi guys. So I thought this was a really great teacher tag. It's Deandra have a teacher tag, which is the teacher mommy tag. And I think this is a great video or a tag for me because when I first started watching teachers on YouTube, some didn't have children. And although I love watching their video, they had great content. I could not relate to their life be outside of teaching because they didn't have any children. But that's kind of one of the reasons why I started actually vlogging. Question is, how many children do you have and how old are they? I have two children, and our son is 14 and our daughter is 12. Where were you a parent first or a teacher first? Okay, so you can decide if I no, but this is my story. I have always worked in the field of education, early childhood education, ever since I was 15 years old. I started working at a daycare when I was 15 years old. Then I was a Georgia pre-K teacher for about 4 years, I believe. Then I opened up an in-home daycare. So I had an in-home daycare here at my home for 4 years, and then I went back into the school system in 2013, and of course I've been there ever since. So, I guess you can say I was really a teacher first before I had my children. Actually, working in a daycare made me want to have children. So, yeah. Okay, so how has becoming a parent changed, influenced your role as a teacher? I'm definitely more nourishing. I'm definitely a nurturer. Um, am I saying that right? I'm a nurturer. I'm nourishing. Anyway, yeah, I'm caring and loving towards the kids. That's what, as in being a parent, that kind of changed my outlook on teaching, is just making sure I kind of love on the kids and everything like that because they may not get it at home. How has becoming a teacher changed, influenced your role as a parent? Being a teacher and kind of knowing what's going on with some of the kids and stuff, I kind of talk to my children about that. Being a teacher and being a parent, it's kind of like, okay, I know what they need to know, when they go to pre-K or when they go to kindergarten. I can help them more when it comes to homework, gather resources from other teachers. Do you send your children to daycare during the breaks or when we have holidays? No, I have never, ever, for 14 and 12 years, sent my kids away. You're not a bad parent if you do. I just personally don't. I love my kids. I love being with my kids, by my kids, around my kids. To be honest, the most I've ever been away from them ever since they've been alive is really 2 weeks when I went to California one time, and that was it. Then, like, when I do go on trips, I may go on like a trip for my birthday or all girls trip, and I might be away for 3 or 4 days. Whenever we're out for breaks and stuff, that's kind of our time to travel. I love traveling. They get to choose wherever they want to go for spring break, and they get to choose a place for when they go on summer break. They really don't bother me. They really never did. I always say God has blessed me with some really good kids because He know what I would be working with in the school system. But so yeah, so I've never sent them to never, even when I was working at a daycare. I was working the Georgia pre-K program in the daycare, and so she was like, your kids can come up here for free and stuff. I just let them stay at home with me. Also, I work in a different district than the school that my kids go to school in, so our breaks sometimes conflict. We have our summer breaks together, but they get out before I do, and then of course we have our spring break together. But I have a fall break. They used to have a fall break, but it was like a conflict. And then I have a winter break. They used to have a winter break, but it was a conflict. So it's kind of like when I'm out, they're in school, and then when they're out, I'm going to work. What advice would you give to a teacher who is pregnant? You can't do everything. Like, you can't please everybody. My kids are and have ever since my kids have been 3, I have put them in everything. All type of activities. My daughter, she has been in dance ever since she was 3. She's 12 now, and she's in competitive dance. So that means she pretty much goes to practice 4 or 5 days out of the week, and each day she may be there for like an hour, 3 hours. They travel and compete. Um, and it's very time consuming. My son, he does robotics, but he usually does it with his school, and they do go to competitions like 3 times a year. Once again, it's time consuming because he stays after school till like 6 o'clock, and then they do have competitions on the weekends. So it's like, I want to give my all at work. I really do. I actually read the book, Ryan Clark's book, Move That Bus or Move Your Bus, I believe, the book that he has. And he was saying, are you a runner or are you a jogger or a walker and stuff? And I was just reading like those definitions. And when I was a runner at my school, I rarely had time for my kids at home. I didn't have any energy. I was saying, I think I'm a jogger now. You really want to have balance. That's the key word. You really want to have balance. You want to be the best teacher that you can be, and these kids, and you're really trying to grow them, but you can't do everything, because you have a life outside of the school. And that was one thing with me. I was really a runner. And when I would come home, I would be frustrated, out of energy. My kids be like, hey, Mom. I'd be like, get out of my room. Don't talk to me. And I just had to think, like, why you like that, Candice? They just said, hey. What's most challenging, rewarding about being a teacher mom? The most challenging and rewarding thing about being a teacher mom is really just knowing what your kids need to know before they even get to that stage. Like now, well, my kids are in middle school and high school, so I would have to connect with a middle school and high school teacher if I needed some help with something. But like a lot of different resources that we used in at school, I would be able to use those resources at home with them in order to help them and better them as a student. So, talk to you guys later. Bye bye.